This is the moment we've been waiting for. It's a big announcement. What is mdpetitions.com's response to SB 281, which is a horrendous bill that violates our rights? We've worked with the Board of Elections to see if we were going to go forward with a referendum to make sure that we had the language ready to go. We wanted to make sure their options were open. At the same time, mdpetitions.com was speaking with the gun groups in Maryland, including the NRA, and we've come to a decision based on what's going to be best for the citizens of Maryland. And really, our decision was easy to make. God has given us rights. These rights are recognized in the Bill of Rights to the United States. In the Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment acknowledges that we have the right to keep and bear arms. Unfortunately, this bill attempts to deny that right. That is not only unfortunate, but that is wrong. This is an issue that is not an issue that should go to a referendum to vote. This is an issue that's given to us and granted to us by God and by the U.S. Constitution and by our government, and we will not stand for this law. We have the freedom of religion. We have the freedom of the press. We have the freedom to bear arms. We do not tax a right. We do not license a right. And yet, this bill does both. It says we're going to tax your right to bear arms, we're going to license that right to bear an arm, and we're going to charge you a lot of money to do it. As a matter of fact, estimates show that it's over $400 to get a handgun just to get a license and just to get the training. This is a poll tax, which takes us back to times that were not right, and this is no time for Maryland to take us back in the past. We need to acknowledge the freedoms that we've been granted, and that's why mdpetitions.com is not going to take this bill to referendum. We acknowledge that this is already given to us by God, by the Constitution, by our government, and it will be settled in the courts, and we expect SB 281 to be overturned. We did work closely with many organizations, including the Maryland State Rifle and Pistol Association and the NRA. Speaking for both groups is Rich Cushman.
I'm Richard Cushman. I'm the Vice President of the Maryland State Rifle and Pistol Association. Shannon Alford, who is our NRA Institute for Legislative Action representative was unable to attend tonight and asked me to read this statement from the National Rifle Association. There is no question that Senate Bill 281 is an unconstitutional infringement on the rights of law-abiding Maryland citizens. Our right to keep and bear arms is a fundamental individual right enshrined and guaranteed by the Constitution. After careful evaluation of all options to address this deeply flawed legislation, which will likely be signed into law soon, it is the position of the National Rifle Association that litigation is currently the best and only responsible avenue to remedy this egregious attack on the law-abiding gun owners and sportsmen of Maryland. The NRA, in conjunction with other pro-Second Amendment individuals and organizations in Maryland, will be pursuing litigation seeking to overturn Senate Bill 281 when anti-gun Governor Martin O'Malley signs it into law, and does not intend to pursue a ballot measure at this time. The Maryland State Rifle and Pistol Association mirrors these comments by the National Rifle Association. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize John Jocelyn, who represents the Associated Gun Clubs of Baltimore.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John Jocelyn. I'm Legislative Vice President for the Associated Gun Clubs of Baltimore. It's been my honor to represent the association and its 29 clubs since 1993. I have had the pleasure with working with my colleagues on this difficult issue, looking at all the aspects of it, all of our options. We concluded that taking this issue to the courts is in fact the proper way to proceed. Our constitutional rights have been threatened, they've been denied, and we're going to seek redress in the courts. We hope that you will support us in our efforts. Thank you.
Next, speaking for Maryland Shall Issue is Patrick Shomo.
My name is Patrick Shomo. I'm president of Maryland Shall Issue. Thank you very much. We support this decision. One of the things that, our board, we talked about this in depth, and one of the things that we'd like to remind people is that civil rights should not ever be placed up for a popular referendum or a popular vote. There's a surface veneer to going for a referendum. We would definitely get the signatures, and we'd have a pretty good chance of winning it, we believe. I think the challenge, though, is, philosophically speaking, we should never place ourselves in a position where our fundamental rights are up to a popular vote by essentially an uninformed public. You know, we really very strongly believe that this bill is unconstitutional as it is. We do have a good chance of taking this on in court. And we intend to use, well, we had 2 branches fail us this year. We plan on going to the 3rd branch and making sure that they're going to go ahead and help us uphold our rights. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Ray Givens from Western Maryland, and he's with the Western Maryland Sportsman Association.
Good evening. My name is Ray Givens. I'm the legislative representative to the Western Maryland Sportsman's Coalition. We too, in the coalition, that being the 5 most western counties, we have 21,000 registered sportsmen in those 5 jurisdictions, and we too had to come to a decision. And in conference with Delegate Parrott and our comrades back here in the other organizations, we also believe that taking this to referendum was not the message that we wanted to send, not for a constitutional right. But that being said, if there were Delegate Parrott's desire to do that, we would be 100% behind him, and we would look for a positive electoral outcome.